Welcome to Wargame, Red Dragon. So I'm going to do a quick tutorial on this just to see how we get started. Now we're going to go solo and we're going to do the campaign. So we have all these campaigns to choose from. Now the top one is the easiest and then it gets harder and harder and harder. So you want to start with the South Korean one. So let's get this launched. So there'll be a little cutscene to kind of tell us a story, but we're going to skip that. And we're going to come here, going to go through the dialogue. And then we have our kind of turn-based tactical map where we can move our units around. And we can click on these units to see what they are. So we can see this is mechanized infantry, they've got some anti-air. Now this is important, you do not want the enemy getting air superiority. Because if they do get air superiority, you're screwed. We can see we also have engineers. This has a couple of different kind of vehicles, artillery, quite handy. So we can see all the different stuff we've got around here. We can see there's no tanks over here. So we're going to take this tank and move him over. Just grab his ass. Okay, that's not working. Maybe we just need to get some stuff out. We're going to turn the planes out. There we go, now I can click on them. Now the planes as well, they take off from the airport and they can stay over there for one turn and they return and you have to send them back out again. Let me see, we've also got, what do we got? We've got tanks over here, that's the only thing that's over there. Now we have some close recon. Let me see, actually these guys have got recon, haven't they? Yeah, so we're going to send them over. So the special forces, very handy. And let me just check, we have a recon over here. Yeah, we do have a recon. Only those guys though. Alright, so I think we'll take that recon and stick them over there. So you're trying to basically balance out your team. So they've got logistic capabilities, that means they can send cargo around to people. So we're going to want to send this logistics somewhere else that doesn't have cargo, which I think will be here. Yeah. Now up here we have fighter planes, some choppers, some tanks, but what we lack is anti-air. Because, like I say, if anyone gets air superiority, we're screwed. So if we click on this 30 up here, this is political points. And we can use it to spend to bring in other units so we can see what we can bring in. And this anti-air is 10 political points. We'll call that in and we can bring that into anywhere that is only here. So you only bring it into this point where it's got the airfield. Can't bring it into these ones, so we can drop it in here and then that's now available. We can move that out and that means we have a bit of anti-air up there. If there's anything else we want to bring in, we could bring in, say, artillery, anti-tank, attack helicopters. Let's actually bring in the attack helicopters. They're very good. Handy. And let's see. I think we'll reinforce that place with the attack helicopters. And then we will hand turn and then the enemy will move. Alright, so they've moved in, they're going to attack us. And now we get to fight. So this is where you should pay attention. It shows you what they have, exactly what they have. We can see they have a strike squadron, a fire support convoy, which is basically artillery, and an infantry regiment. So quite a nice balance of things. So we can see at the bottom here they've got 2 aircraft. One is very good at... oh yeah, that's anti-air. Important because that'll shoot down our planes if we get too close. But they also have these F5s which are capable of napalming infantry, and they've got machine guns capable of shooting at tanks and aircraft and airplanes, so they're very dangerous. And we can see that they've got some mortar guys, so that'll be quite long range, and they've got quite a bit of infantry. So we're going to go launch battle. And the worst thing I usually do is I forget what the heck they had. Always the case. So what we're going to do is, the first thing is go to the infantry. Well, actually, you know what? The first thing we're going to do is not do that. First thing we're going to do is look and see this guy. This is our commander on the field. He's the one that's placed no matter what, and you can't get rid of him. And we need him in order to call in anything. If we start moving him, he will not be able to call in any more troops. He's basically us in the battle. If we lose him, we lose communication with base and we can't call in reinforcements. So he has to live. And even if he actually gets killed by the enemy, we will immediately lose. So he is very, very important. So I'm going to put him back here because he's a little bit further back from the battlefield. But we can see this land and air lines. Now this is wherever our commander would be, is where we can call units in. So if we call in more tanks, they'll come up here and drive up. Now the maps in this are huge, they're big. So that'll take a long time to get these guys all the way up. So they'll basically spawn right here and then drive all the way up. Long drive for a tank. So I'm going to keep him back there, nice and defended hopefully. And this is where I'm going to put up my fight, because it's a nice big defendable place. So I'm going to go and get stingers first. This is our anti-air. And you'll see that even though they're infantry, they're coming up in vehicles. This is because they're mechanized infantry. And now we have to remember to get them out of their vehicles. So you actually have to deploy them. So important. Now the other thing is we have tanks. Let me see. We have a tank with a ground range of 2,000 meters. Now this is important because down the bottom they have poor optics, and this is because they can actually fire further than they can see. Now the reason for this is you need to have a recon squad, or basic infantry as well have decent, like if I go and look at here, these infantry have medium optics, but if I look at the recon guys, they have very good optics. It means they can spot people far, far away, as long as there's no hills in the way or something. So we're going to need a couple of these recon guys to kind of spot for us. They'll be able to see the enemy coming. Then we'll get some basic infantry that will take up the positions in the other buildings here. Now you can see when I hover over something, or these buildings, it gives a little grey box, and this is the area that these guys will position themselves in. So once we deploy them from these vehicles, we'll actually get into those buildings, or if we wanted to, we can actually right click on them and then tell them to get into the buildings. They're even more defended inside there. If I hover over, you can see it says building heavy cover. That means they'll be more protected in there. Now we need to get some tanks. And I'm going to position these around, and these will be able to basically shoot anything that's coming at us. Now we just have to make sure we are not forgetting anything. So we've got these guys. These are really good bombers capable of absolutely devastating enemy tanks and vehicles, but we know that the enemy has anti-air units, which means if we get into a fight, we could easily get our butts kicked. Now what I'm going to also do is I'm going to put an stinger squad there. That means anything, if they happen to get a plane that flies all the way down here, they might be able to deal with them before it gets to my command vehicle. So that's everything placed, very simple, and you can just right click like this to get rid of stuff. And left click to put them down. If you hold down the shift when you're putting them down, you put down multiple, one after the other. Alright, so we're going to launch bow. Then I'm going to select all, and I'm going to go unload. This means all my mechanized infantry now, all the infantry get out. So you can see there, they're standing right next to it, down there. And you can see these buildings are now occupied. And that's it. Now obviously we can't see no enemies. Oh, now we can. So that's our recon squads, our guys positioned here and here that are seeing these vehicles at long range. Now what I'm probably going to spend some money on will be these guys. These are artillery. Not very accurate, but particularly potent if an enemy's team is grouped up together. Now I can see there's a lot of anti-air driving along there. It's very dangerous for my planes to fly out there. And you can see it looks like they're heading to take over this area. So at the moment I'm just going to hold position and see what happens. It's always a lot easier to defend than attack. Now yeah, you can see there's artillery coming in from somewhere over here, it just flew over. Oh, and here we go, here comes the enemy bombers. We'll have to watch and see if our stingers, oh, our stingers got one. They did manage to get off a couple of napalms. The tanks will automatically drive out with a napalm attack. But that napalm attack is devastating for infantry if they get caught in it. You can see they're having a little battle out there. So these are the North Koreans, the South Koreans. So they're not the most advanced of troops and weaponry. You can see the artillery is firing. Now, in order to take out this artillery, we'd have to find it. Now, we could either use a recon squad running out there all stealthily trying to sneak around, or we could try advancing over, or we can just take the damage that they're going to send over. So in the moment, I'm just going to take the damage, because I don't think they'll be able to do too much to us to beat us, basically. So let's see. I definitely want to order in some artillery, but I don't really know if it's worth it at the moment. We can only get in one, and really, this artillery isn't very accurate, so it's best to have a few of them. And I don't want to go wasting. So yeah, you can see the artillery is coming from somewhere over here, very far back. But they're not able to really do enough damage to me. Like, they are able to obviously damage me, but they're just not really accurate enough to do major damage. My guys are surviving okay. And what we're attempting to do in order to win is to get basically get more points than them. You see, when an enemy vehicle gets destroyed, we get points. Oh, here comes another fighter. We got him. Oh, boom. Oh, what a big explosion. So yeah, if he was to get air superiority, we'd be screwed. So thankfully, he ain't got no air superiority over us. You know, I'm going to actually reposition. I'm going to put that here. And then... Come on, one more point. There we go. And more fighters. Oh, my slinger guy here. Oh, he was in a perfect position for that. Now what we do have to worry about as well is that our troops can run out of missiles and ammunition, and this is what our logistics and support are for. They've got cargo trucks that can drive in. So for instance, we can bring in and say, like, let's get a cargo truck up here, get a cargo truck up here. Problem is, they're going to drive from all the way back here in order to get to us. So I'm going to start targeting this, and we'll get some artillery over there. But we're winning, and we're doing pretty damn good. So you can see these guys are charging up their attack. And you can see the cargo coming in and driving on their way up. It'll take a while to get up there though. Very good. The cargo trucks as well don't really take that much cargo on board. Alright, you can see my artillery here firing. So we'll see the shells landing soon. Tank rounds. Look at that artillery go, that's a lot of missiles. So they're not accurate at all, but they're pretty devastating in a large amount. If we had a couple more of these guys, we'd be doing quite a devastating amount of attack on this little town. So you can see there was an infantry squad in there. For a second, we spotted. Yeah, look at them, there's only 3 guys left at the moment. Oof. Pretty crazy. Cargo guys just driving on their way over. So we're just trying to basically get enough points that they have to retreat. And it kind of ends quite suddenly, like we're at 70% as you can see there. You can see they're still firing artillery at us. Alright, I think we will put some fire down on... Will we put it on these guys? I don't know if that's a good idea. You know what, this guy's stationary. Maybe we should put it on him. Oh wait, not a valid target. Are we out of ammo? Is that a thing? Is that okay? Oh, we are. Great. Okay, we'll get a cargo in. So they basically had 1 barrage worth of artillery rounds. So we'll resupply them. You can see these guys have quite long range. So they're pretty devastating actually. If they were more accurate, it would be pretty devastating. So once there are cargo trucks here, they'll rearm and resupply. And then we will get an attack on these guys. Right on them guys, let's see if we can hit them. We can see some infantry is taking up position in that building. But they got wiped out. Oh, another fighter. Looks like he got away with that safely, didn't get damaged. Look at the napalm hits. Oof. We're still kicking butt though. Here comes an artillery barrage. Pretty useless though. Oh, but it's all frozen, which means someone's won, which I think is us. So there we go, we managed to get so many points that they had to retreat. So it does kind of end quite suddenly. Kind of odd. But we can see it was a total victory. Our forces are getting a gain in morale and a loss of cohesion from our combat. And they're getting a loss of morale and a loss of cohesion. So no units were kind of like completely wiped out or anything like that. But we won. So we can see our aircraft have returned. So let me see, we also have, yeah, tanks. Good. I think we'll try and send these guys up there. We'll send these dudes over here. And these dudes over there. And I think we'll fight here first.